Okay, so I'm going to speak for Tina first. She is working on this GitLab Herman Miller kind of collaboration on doing remote work. I think Javier, you're going to show that, or okay, I'm not seeing it. But yeah, anyway, so it's just a guide to remote work, kind of like a case study in a way. So she's working on that. And then also doing some work supporting migrating the solutions pages. I don't know if we need to show that one. So she's also removed, we're doing a whole removal of competitor logos across the site. So she's working on that one for the DevOps tools page. Here it is. So used to be a whole bunch of logos, now it's just kind of copy. Also, she had the DRI for the rotating slippers maintenance issue this week. We had a lot of work on slippers. She added quotes, block quotes in there, added list to the content, updated some grids and spacing, updated some colors, and we also added cursors to our library. That's so we can actually like show like hovers and things like that. And I think that's it for Tina right now. And then I'm going to go next with my stuff. So made a bunch of suggestions on how we can update our SMB page, very similar to what we did for the enterprise page last quarter. Also did an MVC3 update to our navigation. We're going to have this new buy now button that will go straight to like a premium SaaS kind of version. So you can kind of skip the pricing page and go right direct to buy if you're interested in that. Also updated the tablet navigation. So some things will be pulled out of the nav instead of just a little hamburger menu. You can see the buttons and login and things like that. And then the next thing on there, finally got the copy for the stages of the DevOps lifecycle page, which is super exciting. Shout out to Christina Weitz for helping us with that. We're just waiting on the illustrations to be done, and then we can finally wrap up this project that's been outstanding for quite a while. And then also did a bunch of research around best practices for user flows, was able to make 10 suggestions to kind of quick wins on how we can improve the free trial experience. Broke that into various issues. We don't need to like look at them. Also did a huge update to our Figma color palette. So you want to show that one, Javi. Just changed some color, updated some colors, added some new ones. Did all the like WCAG, pass fail, everything. Broke them out in new ways. So it's done on the design side. I definitely have to work with the developers to get it into production, but this is really helpful already. I think it's going to be a lot better than what we had before. And that's it for me. Tyler, you're up next.
Excellent, thank you. And of course, there we go. I lost my place. So first up, we landed a bunch of the Google Tag Manager stuff in GitLab.com, but it was broken because we were not appropriately setting the nonce value on the script tag, which we need for the content security policy. So I fixed that. And that rolled out to production, and Google Tag Manager now fires. It's only in 5 pages right now, the GitLab product, which is the user sign up page. There's a terms page for all users, some users, maybe just the free trial, new subscriptions, new trial registrations, and the trial select page. Google Tag Manager fires there now. So super exciting. And that list is growing hopefully next week. We'll find out. We also customers.gitlab.com, which is like a payment portal companion application to gitlab.com. We wanted to switch over the Google Tag Manager container so that it matched what we're using across other properties. So we got that, just like swap the ID. I merged a thing for Francis Potter. Chatted with Tina on it. We're part of the, like just mentioned, we're removing competitor logos. So the comparison image, we just swapped it out with a blank SVG so it wouldn't like mess up the format, like keeping the intrinsic sizing of the image, but it's just a blank SVG. So that is updated now. What's up next? This hasn't actually landed, but like the work is done. And this was a big one, so I didn't want to like lose it here because what I spent most of my time doing the sprint was the free trial flow. So if you like start a new free trial, we have a bunch of events we want to push into the data layer for Google Tag Manager. So I wired up all the events to the stuff, and I've like done the work, and now it is in review. This will probably be a lengthy review process because it's like it's a big change and it crosses a bunch of different files and stuff. Then today, just a couple small things. So while I wait on the free trial stuff, we have some enhanced e-commerce data to add to the Google Tag Manager data layer. So Michael got me a definition for that data, which I then added to the data dictionary. Thanks everyone who has worked on the data dictionary, because it was the perfect place to put this definition. So I shipped that. And then Hanif has been doing a ton of stuff. And I know, Barker, you were doing a ton of those reviews, and he's now sort of spreading out the review process. So I have started receiving those and just sort of like shipping them out. So we're off to the races on that. And up next is John.
Hi, I work on creating a new method to add meta attributes to the solution pages and the pages that are going to be created after. Also, I migrated the solutions faster software delivery page to the buyer's experience. Yes, that is the page. Also, I work with the migration of 404 page. I created some new components that maybe are useful for the future, and a newer layout that accepts different errors from 404, maybe 500 or whatever error we need to add later. And also I migrated the Get Help page to buyer experience. I created a new side menu that will be useful for future components and pages. And also I moved the copy and copy media components from solutions to be more generic for future pages also. And the next one is Hi.
Thank you, John. This past iteration, I worked on aligning our different buttons. Since we've had different button solutions across both repositories and both implementation of like slippers and then also like base 2020, I spent an iteration just tracking to see like what different things were wrong in relative to what exists in Figma, and just trying to get everything to align. So this is an example of trying to get these buttons to align more closely. So across the site, we should have more of a consistent experience along that end. I worked on creating a Herman Miller remote work guide page, the page that Tina showed. Here's the review app for it. I just need to do the review process and make sure the parties are good, both with SEO, Open Graph, content. Tina also signs off on that as well. I'm working on a navigation MVC4, MVC3. I don't know, I'm losing track of what iteration I've worked on for the navigation, but that's a work in progress. And it's like the implementation of the thing that just showed earlier. And I did a bunch of just do things as things come up. And so then I just list them all here. And then up next is Nathan, but Tyler is going to vocalize for Nate. So.
Excellent, thank you. I was trying to think of a good joke about impersonating Nate, but nothing's. I'm still too slow on the uptake, so we'll just go into the actual stuff. Slippers V1, Nate doesn't have enough time to demo, so it looks like he's going to either record something asynchronously or maybe schedule a new meeting to like go over this. But here's the updates. Added TypeScript support. Thank you, Nate. We will all thank you later multiple times over for probably the rest of our lives. Ripped out Tailwind and replaced it with just a custom variables style sheet. Updated these components and their stories, buttons, container, row, column, horizontal rule, modals, which now use view teleport, and tooltips, which now use view teleport, and then added new components and stories for a link and typography. So that's a lot. Good job, Nate. Thanks for doing it. Hope you feel better. And up next is Mateo.
Okay, so I created a couple new components for the buyer experience repository, which were the pull quote and benefits. Also migrated a couple of pages from the repo. Those were the update page and the get started page. Those went with a couple new components, the link card component and the table component. Also updated the webpack dependency on the tab repo for to fix a local development issue, and generated a sitemap for the buyer experience repo and connected it with the existing sitemap that we already had, and added GA tracking attributes to the markdown links that we had in the buyer experience repo that were not didn't have the attributes yet. And next is Miguel.
Thank you, Mateo. In this iteration, I worked a lot on the carousel video component. I think it's a great result because it's almost pixel perfect, and also managed to work on the tabs menu component, and that was it from me. And next is Lore.
All right, so for this I did some GA attribution implementation. The big one there is adding them to the pricing modal that fires on the pricing page. This will ship later today, but if you click on like any of those get started or buy premium, it fires a modal, and now those are tracked, which will be awesome. And then I'll continue adding lots of stuff there. Some more, the free trials got stuff, and then install on the features page. The big thing I've been working on is starting an MR to add the physical script to our e-com pages and the products. So I've just started that. That'll be ongoing as I learn the process there, and then lots of MR reviews. Daniel isn't here, so I will read for him. Worked on migrating the terms page over to buyer experience value stream management page, and that's going to include our super cool new video carousel component. It'll be awesome. And then fixed some width of our copy component issues. So the copy component wasn't quite spanning the full width of our container, and so patched that up. It's super cool. So that's the end. So we're gonna sign off. Later.